And welcome back to Worsley Bees. I'm Rob. Today I'm at the Swarm Hive. It is September 1st. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and normally by now I would have taken some honey. But the way this year's gone, I've been so busy at work, I haven't had as much time to inspect, and I haven't seen full frames when I have had a chance to look in the hives. Today I want to do a more full inspection on all of the hives, starting with the swarm box. Now I have a bee brush and I have a container to put full frames of capped honey, should I find any, so that I can take some, making sure that I at least leave them what they need to get through the winter. There's still some flowers out and about that the bees are getting nectar from. I have a big sunflower in the front yard. I've seen them on that, and there's obviously sunflowers in the area. There's also some sedum which is flowering, and they're all over that. And I've actually noticed that some of the, I can't remember what it's called now, there are lots of flowers out anyway still, so they're still collecting nectar. So let's get into this hive. Okay, so I'm going to give them a little bit of smoke at the entrance. And under the lid, give them a few minutes to settle down. Something that I would like to do today is to give them all a treatment with Formic Pro, except the hive that I already treated. Now I put a stick under here the other week because it's been very hot, just to give them a little bit more air up top. Now I don't see bees billowing out. So we're going to assume that there's room in there. Although it does sound like there's lots of bees. Let's have a look. Let's get this lid off. Stuck on pretty good with propolis. Wow, that's good. There's plenty of bees up here. I don't see any beetles on the lid, and the queen should not be up here because the queen excluder's on. Anyway, let's have a look. So we do have, I think what I did was I checkerboarded these frames when I first added them. It's a fairly warm day. It's under 85 degrees though. If it was over 85 degrees, I'd be very cautious with adding Formic Pro. Now it looks like they're starting to draw out the comb on this frame, as you can see here and here. So although it's still September, they are drawing comb out. Now the next frame, I'm going to leave that one to one side. The next frame is the same. I'm going to pull it out and take a look, because we're looking for everything that we want to find and everything we don't want to find. I got a good amount of sunshine today, so I will see eggs if there's eggs. This is above the queen excluder, so there shouldn't be eggs. Now if I need to move this down into the brood, I could, because they're drawing that out like a trooper. Now I'm not seeing any beetles, no sign of pests, no wax moth, so that's good. So that's all fresh comb. The next frame, I believe, was one that was bought up from the lower box, which had just honey in it, or nectar. It's got some good weight to it. There's some open cells with no nectar in it, but there's a lot of nectar at the top. None of it is capped yet. And the same on this side. Lots of open cells at the bottom in the middle, and lots of nectar at the top, which is perfect, but not capped. So it's not something I can take, not at all. Now the next one would have been one that had no comb on it at all. These girls have been drawing it out over the past couple of weeks. They're doing a great job on this one, as you can see. Nothing in there, but they're doing a great job of drawing out the comb on both sides. Again, looking for small hive beetles and other problems, not seeing anything detrimental, all looking good. Put that one right up to that frame so that I can shimmy them around without worrying about squishing any bees. This next frame is one that was brought up from the lower box when I checkerboarded. Now somebody mentioned in one of my videos that checkerboarding honey doesn't make them draw out the comb. Now maybe that's true, but they have been drawing out the comb, so leave a comment in the comments if you have any experience on that. This is comb that was drawn out in the bottom frame. No pests, no beetles, no wax moth. This is all honey on this side, all nectar and honey at the top. Now we're starting to see some capped stuff at the top, but nothing that I can take. And then the next frame again is had nothing on it, and they have been drawing that out as well. Starting to draw it out here and here and here as well. Have a quick look for any pests. Nothing. I don't see any beetles, so it's looking good. Whether that's going to get to a point where they'll have honey in it, I don't think so. Not this year, not now. But hey, you never know. Bees will be bees. They'll do what they want to do. It's not looking like I'll be able to draw any honey from these girls this year. I don't think. This is all nectar. That's all nectar. And this side too is all nectar, with a few open cells at the very bottom. These girls are being very gentle. I'm not really using any more smoke right now. If they start to get loud, then I'll get the smoker out again. But right now, they're very, very gentle. There's another frame that they've been drawing out the comb. Maybe they would draw it out quicker if it was between brood. Somebody mentioned last week about putting an empty frame between brood frames. That will make them draw it out faster, but my understanding was always that you shouldn't separate the brood. I just saw a beetle on the next frame. Let's go get it. Right, beetle number one, where are you? Where did it go? I just saw a beetle. Did it skip off of this frame? I think so. This is a frame that would have had nothing on it, and they've drawn it out beautifully. And they're starting to fill it. Now, where that beetle went, I don't know. That's okay. I think one beetle, the bees can deal with it. I'm guessing it fell off into the hive. That would be my guess. It's not on this frame either. So this is the outside frame, nothing on it. They haven't started any work on it. So there's nothing for me to take from this hive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull those over this way, and I'm going to put the first frame over this end. Maybe they'll start drawing out that other frame. But it is late in the season for new comb. I do realize that. But I knew that at least there was room for the bees to work. Okay, let's get under the queen excluder. Now this time of year you got to watch out for robbers. So if things get chaotic, I'll probably end up putting the lid back on real quick. Stuck on there pretty good. So now we've got to be careful, because we could find the queen. We don't want to hurt the queen. Right here you can see there's this, which they've propolised, which is Swiffer pad, so that's going to come out, and this one too, because it's not going to do much with propolis, although there is a beetle there. That's probably that beetle that we just saw, or that I just saw. There's another beetle there, I'll crush it. That's two beetles gone. Just squish that down. Let's take a look in the oil trap. Wow, they propolized that down real good too. Oh wow, that's really stuck down. Just two beetles in there, and I think that they were already in there from last time I was in. That's okay. A little bit of smoke at the top. And at the entrance, just to let them know we're coming. So there should be brood down here. They may well be honey down here. If there's honey that's capped better than what it is at the top, I may end up moving that up and giving them space for brood down below, because I want them to have plenty of bees. Although they do have plenty of bees, more bees is even better. Okay, so this is the outside frame. No eggs, no honey, but it's got a lot of honeycomb on it. This is the inside of that frame, which has got lots of honey, a little bit of nectar, actually a lot of nectar, a little bit of honey, a little bit of pollen. I don't expect the queen will be on this frame because there's nowhere for her to lay. I'll move that frame aside. Taking it nice and slow. I don't want to squish any bees if I can help it, and especially not the queen. Okay, we have brood already. This side we have brood and eggs and honey, single eggs. So I'm not sure if you can see those eggs in there, but there are eggs in some of these cells, and some brood, and some nectar and honey, and some small larvae as well. So that's a great frame. That's the second frame in. So yeah, this is the swarm box that I caught from my neighbor's tree. They swarmed out of my hive number 4, which ended up leaving my hive number 4 queenless. So I ended up requeening hive number 4. They got pretty weak, and now they've came back pretty good, pretty strong with a new queen. Let's get a hold of this frame. So I'm looking out for bees on the top of the hive. If I start seeing a bunch of bees flying around the top of the hive, then I've got problems. So here we have larvae, brood, lots of honey. Look at that beautiful thick honey, but I can't take it. This is for the bees. Every single cell is filled with brood and larvae on this side, and this side is all brood in the middle. I can't really tell, if I don't know that there's eggs there, but there's lots of brood. Thick honey. So that's going to stay with them. Push that frame to the other frames while I can, so that bees hopefully won't go in there and get stuck, and then I'll end up crushing them. I don't want to do that. It's inevitable that you're going to kill some, but I heard today that it's common for 8,000 bees to die every day from your hive. Seems a little bit of a high number to me, but who knows, maybe that's correct, maybe it's wrong. Correct me if that's wrong, but that's what I heard. In here we've got brood and eggs and larvae, some backfill with honey, which I think is what you want to see, because they're looking to get stores ready for winter. And I just see my queen. There's my queen. Okay, so there she is. There's the queen. Just walking onto the honey now. Beautiful queen. Haven't seen her for quite some time, but there she is, a beautiful fat bottomed queen. She's not marked. I have tried marking her. It's just not as easy as all that. I find it quite difficult to mark them for some reason. I'm not too worried about marking her right now. That's not today's goal. Today's goal is to get through all of the hives and give them some treatment for mites. But there she is. So I'm actually going to face her the other way. This is the frame you do not want to drop. Make sure I can see her. Where is she? There she is. Right at the bottom in the middle of the frame. So now I don't have to worry as much about potentially killing my queen, because I know she's not over here. Although she could go down and back up, I guess, because we're in the second box up. So what does that mean for the bottom box? Does that mean the bottom box is full of brood? Is it full of honey? Look at that brood pattern. That's a fantastic brood pattern. Big rainbow of honey. Another big brood pattern and a frame of honey. A little bit of ball brood there, which I believe is hygienic behavior. I don't know, not 100% sure on that, but I do see a few bald broods. Is that to get mites out? Possibly. Well, that's why we're here today, to do a mite treatment with Formic Pro. Once I've had a look throughout the hive, that's what I plan to do. Come on girls, out the way. Get out the gaps. Okay. Let's have another look. They need some smoke. They're getting a little bit antsy. Okay. Just knock them down a bit. They will go down and start eating honey, or nectar, I should say. That's what they do when they think there's a fire. Pretty heavy frame. Okay, so there's room here. Let me just see. What do I see? There's room to lay there in the middle. So my guess is they just had some bees all hatch out from that area. Big frame of honey and brood there. I don't see eggs on this frame. There is brood though. It all looks healthy. A little bit of bald brood there in the corner. Again, that could be an indication of mites, I think. Make a comment if you know better than me. I'm sure you do. I am 3 years into beekeeping, so I do not know everything. I have been learning a lot, and this is as much for my enjoyment as it is for your entertainment purposes. I'm no Bob Binney, that's for sure. Okay, let's pull this out. What do we got here? This is a pretty heavy frame. All nectar. A little bit of honey at the top. Honey at the top and nectar backfilled where there was probably brood. This is looking like a very healthy hive. Now, just imagine if I'd have lost these when they swarmed back in, I think it was in May. They'd be in somebody else's apiary or in a tree somewhere right now. So this frame is new comb that they drew out. And it's got nectar in it. There's a beetle. Let's get that beetle. We got that beetle. It's no longer a problem. It's one of the things that I absolutely detest. Those beetles are such a nuisance. It's not so much the beetle, but it's the eggs they lay and the larvae that's produced. So this frame is empty. That doesn't want to go down. There it is. And this frame here is empty with a little bit of comb on the outside. This frame that I pulled out initially, I'm going to put that to the outside. Maybe that will entice them to do something good with the other frames. All right. Okay, so now we're just going to take off this top brood box. A little bit more smoke. I just added some fuel to my smoker. And this girl's taking out a dead bee right here. Trying to. Oh, unable to. Let me get it for you. There you go. It's out. Save them a little bit of work, eh? So now I'm going to take off this top brood box. Separate it if I can. It's heavy. Oh yeah, it's heavy. And I'll lay it on its side behind me. Now the queen was in this box. She may have gone down. Okay, a bit more smoke. Just to knock them down. Let's see what we got. Somebody also mentioned I should get a hook tool. Well, I have a hook tool. I have two of them. But I can never find them when I need them. Okay, so what do we have here? We got some honey leakage, which was not good. A weird little bit of comb here, which I'm going to take out. Just a weird piece of comb. That's got some pollen, honey, nectar. Start recording. And just comb on this side. I see a little bit of pollen on some of their legs. I'm going to leave that one to the side. Nice amount of bees in here. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of bees in here. So that's awesome when you see that. So many bees. Hopefully bees of winter physiology, as Dave Burns says. Now there's a lot of pollen in there as well. No real brood in there. Oh, a little bit, but not much. A lot of brood on this side. Wonder if that queen went down. Okay. I'm guessing the queen is still in the other box. Lots of propolis in here. So the frames are really stuck together nice. Some brood, lots of pollen. A little bit of brood, lots of pollen, larvae I should say. So she's pretty well packed down here. So it seems like that they've put a lot of food stores in this bottom hive. A lot of bees flying around the entrance right now. Got to keep an eye on them, making sure they're from this hive, and they could well be likely from this hive, I think, because the other hive looked very, very calm. A little bit of open larvae, nectar. No, not so much nectar. I would say pollen. A little bit of brood and a lot of pollen. There's a lot of pollen down here. Most of the stores down here so far seems to be pollen stores. And a little bit of brood that she's backfilled where she can. There's brood, some larvae in here. It looks pretty full. There is no real place for her to lay down here. It's full, but like I say, she's filled in where she can. There is brood down here. A little bit of space down here she could perhaps go to. She's making the rounds. I would say she's a good queen, that's for sure. Looks like a healthy colony to me. Got a nice frame of brood here, a lot of brood. Yep, that's real nice. Some more nice brood, some larvae and some eggs. And this is, I believe this is, it's a rainbow of honey and some open cells. We're getting towards the outside. A little bit of brood. Let me see if I can see eggs. Yes. I see eggs. All of that has got eggs and larvae in it. So that's, she's been down here as well. A little bit cooler today. It's in the lower 80s. What do we got here? Okay, so we've got new comb, nothing in it. New comb with honey and nectar, no eggs. No larvae. And then I see two new frames, nothing on them at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push these two in. I'm going to push those two in all the way, and then this frame that I still have sitting at the side here, which is honey. Let me just check that. Honey and nectar and pollen. I'm going to put that to this outside, so maybe they'll be enticed to work those other two frames. Now that's a good healthy looking hive. I gotta try and smoke these bees down. And then place this box there. Whew. That's heavy. Green excluder. Okay, so I had to close them up in a hurry. Things were getting very busy around the boxes, and I wasn't really sure if it were robber bees or if it were my bees, but I wanted to make sure that they didn't get rubbed out. So right now they have lots of nectar, lots of pollen, lots of eggs, lots of brood, lots of larvae, and I found the queen. That's in the swarm box, so I'm really happy with where it's at. What I want to do though is put some Formic Pro in here. So that's going to be done. I'll probably do that tomorrow, because what I want to do is I want to inspect all of the hives before I do the Formic Pros. So moving on to the next hive. So thanks for watching this, and take care, and we'll see you in the next episode, the next hive I should say. Take care, bye now.